What is up, my dear friends of the world? Paul the trombonist here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to master the major scale. And by the end of the video, you should have a great understanding on the steps needed in order to be able to get very comfortable with your major scales and why it's important to get comfortable with your major scales. Okay, so the major scales are a system that was developed for Western music where everything's based on it. I always tell everyone it's like the alphabet. It's completely like the alphabet. So the better you are at your major scales, the better you are at music. And if anyone was to ask me what should I do to become a great musician, by far the number one thing I would say to anybody is to learn your major scales inside and out, to the point where someone can say, hey, Paul, what is the fourth note of D major? And you could just rattle off what that note is. Does anyone know? G. If someone says, Paul, what is the sixth note of C major? And you say A. Paul, what is the fourth note of F major? You say B flat, and so on and so on and so on. And you know them that well. And not only do you know them that well, you know them that well where you can play them on your instrument on command. Okay? So the first way we're going to learn our major scales is you have to know them from going down to top. Going down to top. So it would be something like this. In all 12 keys. And when you do these, you're going to do them with a metronome, okay? You're going to make sure you're really comfortable with them. You're going to do them with a metronome. You're going to go down and up as many octaves as comfortable as for you. So you're going to run them like that, just normal, okay? That should be good to go. Once you're good to go with that, the second part of your major scales is you're going to want to do them in a variation of patterns. There's so many different patterns. The patterns I use to get comfortable is the one that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes on like that. So it's like this. And goes on and on and on, okay? And you do that in every key. And the reason that we're doing these on our instrument is because we're getting comfortable unlocking our muscle memory, so then that way in a musical context we are comfortable with approaching musical ideas from a lot of different perspectives. And these patterns unlock the different perspectives of getting comfortable with the tonality. A tonality is basically the overall vibe of what that major scale or what that particular scale sounds and feels like, what it feels like. So we want to get really comfortable with the tonality. In these different patterns that we devise, we make them up. There's an infinite number of ways you can go. We make up these different patterns with the major scale to get comfortable, to unlock our muscle memory, to be able to navigate through these different tonalities. Because as you will discover, the better you get at your major scales, the better you will get at music, because inside these major scales are all of the other scales inside of music, okay? So I would do a pattern like that. I would do the one that's like, and I go on, okay, and I do them all 12 keys, all right? And then you're just going to do that. Totally comfortable. You don't even think about it. It's like speaking where you don't even think about it, okay? So that's the second step. The other way you can approach it, which I highly recommend, this is the other pattern I use, is in thirds, okay? So you just go on every other, basically. And then you go down and you do that same one in all 12 keys. The banana over there, he's hiding, but he's there. I'll pull him out later if you're lucky. Now, you get that good. You do that on all 12 keys, no problem. You're getting comfortable at it. It's sounding good. So now what's the next step? Well, you can do different patterns. You can come up with different patterns that you like and different ones to make you more comfortable. There's an infinite number of them, like I said. And then you can approach your major scales from going down. A lot of times we practice them from going to the bottom to the top, but then you're going to just start to do them from going down, because a lot of the times we are so used to from going to down to top that music, though, doesn't always just go from down to top. Sometimes melodies start at the top and go down. So we do practice them like that. Then you're going to get comfortable with all of your major arpeggios. So that's just 1, 3, 5, 7 of that scale, right? You're going to do that in all 12 keys. And go on and do it in all 12 keys. That's 1, 3, 5, 7 of the major scale. You're going to get good at that. Then the next step, the final step, the ultimate step, the step that will really make sure that you are comfortable, and how you know you're comfortable is I like to jam out in the tonality. And jamming out in this tonality is what's going to make you totally free. And it's improvising. It's improvising. So what you do is you start your idea on a chord tone, a 1, 3, 5, 7, and you end your idea on a chord tone. That's the rule. And you can just pick a tonality, the overall vibe of that major scale. So I would say an F. So let's say we're in F, and I'm only going to use the notes in F major. Only going to use the notes in F major, okay? So these are F major notes only, and I'm just going to jam out in it. And I would have a metronome going, and I would jam out on it. And that's all F major. That's all. And I would do that in every single key possible, all 12 keys. I would go through that, and I would do it like that, and I would get comfortable in all of them. Okay? So, folks, if you are interested in mastering your major scales and getting it all together, I put together a free on-demand presentation on improvising that will help you take it to the next level, or at least understand how and what to practice to unlock that final step of being able to improvise the major tonalities, because everything's based on it, okay? So some of you may have seen this presentation. We don't know how long it's going to be up, but right now it's up. All you got to do is click the link down below or anywhere around on this video to watch that on-demand presentation on being able to unlock that ability to improvise and what you need to understand in order to go that direction as far as improvisation. Okay? That's the final step. That's when you really know that you're comfortable with the major scales, is when you can really improvise with the major scales. Then, once you can improvise with the major scales, your compositions are going to get better. Your songwriting is going to get better. You're going to be able to come up with melodies on the spot better. You're going to understand what harmonies to play for backgrounds behind people. You're just going to understand how to completely unlock the ability to have the freedom that you really want in music. That's what you really want. You want that freedom, and you get that freedom through improvising. So click the link down below. And before we go, I always want to thank you guys, because you really mean a lot to me. I really appreciate you guys. I don't take it for granted at all. Everyone that takes time to say hello in here, that leaves a comment, that hits a like, it just means a lot. And the banana wanted to say goodbye to you guys. Hello, thanks for watching Paul the Trombonist, where dreams come true. So folks, I will see you in the on-demand improvisation presentation in the link in the description. And you guys mean the world to me. All right, take care. Bye-bye.